Welcome back. We're going to dive in today. It's going to be a super fun topic. So, as you know, the big thing that we focus on with this show is communication, right, between the driver and the recruiter. And if you've tuned into past episodes, you know that a lot of calls go unanswered, right? I mean, we looked at the percentages. It varies from month to month, but in general, let's say 40% of all calls go unanswered. So what I want to talk about today, even though it's called listening in, is this really important piece of communication, and that's email. Now, we all know it's an additional channel that recruiters can use and use well to get in touch with drivers. So today we're going to dive into email and talk about 3 of the biggest things that we should be checking, okay? Really deep topic, subject, a lot of different areas we could go with it. And this isn't going to be all encompassing, but 3 really, I think, solid ideas that we could all benefit from by checking on these areas. So let's dive in here. The first one is cadence. All right, so what do we mean by cadence? Well, when a driver is on your website or on a landing page and they see something they like, they're going to either complete a short form or a long form, right, a full application. Either way, once they hit submit, what happens? Now, we hope that the recruiter's getting the driver on the phone as quickly as possible, right? They're showing some interest, let's get them engaged. But as we mentioned, that's not always the case. So how quickly, right, we're going to cadence, part 1 of cadence here, how quickly does the driver get an email, right? They hit submit, what happens after that? So I've been doing a lot of these recently, and it's really interesting to see the difference in times that different fleets, how quickly they respond with an email. So some, it's almost instantaneous. So you hit submit, boom, you're getting an email right away. Runs the full gamut, right? To then others where you hit submit and there's no emails whatsoever. So some of the in-between is maybe it takes a day or 2 or hours before that email comes in. So that's piece 1 of cadence, is how quickly does that email get over to the driver? Part 2 here is how often? And that's really what we're talking about when it comes to cadence, is once I show an interest as a driver, how many points of contact, how many emails are going to begin to come into my inbox? And once again, it's really interesting to see just how different everybody's got it set up. And I'll tell you right away, there isn't a single solution to this, right? Because everybody wants to know, well, how many should we be sending? What is the right cadence? And the best thing you can do is test different cadences, see what works the best. But I will tell you that there's some that as soon as I hit submit, I got 3 emails almost right away. That's confusing to me. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Why 3 separate emails instead of just putting what I need to know in 1 email? Others, you can kind of see the pattern, right? Where you get 1 on day 1, and then another 1 on day 2, another 1 on day 3. Others have it spaced out, right? Where you might get an email on day 1, then on day 3, then on day 5. And so everybody seems to be trying these different cadences. What I can say on that is test it, see what kind of cadence gets you the best response rates. But if you're not testing it, you just plug it in and hope for the best. I can tell you I've been overwhelmed by certain fleets with just the number of emails I've gotten, and others I still haven't heard from. And it's been weeks or months since I put in that request. So that's number 1. Let's jump to number 2. Oh, and these are the 3 C's. I should have mentioned that in the beginning, right? The 3 C's of things to check. So cadence, number 1, content being number 2. So check the content of the emails. In a lot of these situations, I can tell that this was set up a year ago, 2 years ago, this drip email system, and we haven't gone back to double check it, right? So I'll bring up just on my end here an example of this, right? And we'll blur names and everything out, so don't worry about that. In this particular example, there it is. It says, start 2021 with 3,000 in the bank. All right, and I got this on May 8th, so not that long ago. We are 5 months into 2022, and this email says, start 2021 with 3,000 in the bank. Time to refresh the content of the email. Another one that I'm going to pull up here is, well, let me talk about it, is visually, how do they look? In the business of marketing, right, trying to get a driver's attention, and it's hard to do, right, especially when you look at just the pure volume of things that they're getting, phone calls, voicemails, text messages, and emails. If it's an extremely bland looking email, then the likelihood that somebody's going to stop and really pay attention to it is probably pretty low. So some of these emails look really, really good, right? Nice use of color and pictures, video, and some strong content in there that would get my attention regarding pay, home time, some of those primary pain points that we might all be thinking about. But others don't look as good, right? It's just pure text. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with just a really good email, short to the point with some strong text. But some of these emails don't even really have a point other than one I'm thinking about here and I'm looking at is it's just a list of open jobs. They're links, so I can click on them to learn more, but the wording itself isn't even very long, right? So maybe the fact that it has pay in there might capture my attention enough, but these emails come in every single day with a list of 3 or 4 jobs, just links, and if I'm a driver, I'm not clicking on them, right? I'm not even paying attention to those emails. So think about the content, right? That's the second C. What's in the emails? Is it going to get attention? Is it accurate, right? Are we still talking about 2021? Or do we have good, refreshed drip systems in place with current content? Because we all know that pay's changed a lot in the past year or so. Make sure the most recent information is in there, right? And I understand that some of the systems you might be using, some are easier than others, right? So some you may have access to quickly jump in, make the changes you want. Others you might have to go through a third party, get them to make the changes for you. So that's something else to take into consideration. All right, let's jump on to our last one here. The third C, all right? Customization. This is a really big one because naturally with an email drip system, unless it's a super sophisticated one, the emails going out to everybody are more or less the same. But there's a few things that you can make sure that you're getting right. And one of those is the name, right? I obviously put a name on the interest form that I filled out. Use my name, right? Let me know it's addressed to me. You know who I am. Because some of the emails, and we'll show these, they don't even say who they're to, right? So it didn't even take the time to import that name into the email. Some of them, and this blows my mind, from very large companies and fleets, that the email itself doesn't say who it's from. Not in the body, not in the email address. One of them, in fact, says no reply. That's who it came from, it says, is no reply. And even in, like I said, the body of the email, there's no logos, there's no indication who it's from. And I'm not even talking about a specific recruiter, but even that alone, that's a great point too. Is it just from the company as a whole? Or can we personalize it a little bit so that I know what the recruiter's name and contact information is, right? Because it's easy to sort through my inbox here and see names of companies and then names of people. And the names of people definitely jump out more than the names of companies because it feels like a personal interaction. So make sure it's clear who's sending the email, right? The company as well as a real person's name and contact information. Because no reply, I'm obviously, one, I don't know who that is, and two, the fact that it says no reply means I can't even reply to the email if I wanted to. All right, and then the last point here on customization, our third C, is one of the emails, and I think this is hilarious, is I put my actual birth date in, which is October 2nd, and for whatever reason, the very first email that came from this fleet was a happy birthday email, and I filled this out in May. So whatever they've done on their end to set up this drip email marketing system, for whatever reason, it's firing off a happy birthday email first, which I guess it got my attention, and maybe that was the goal. But it didn't make me want to call them back. It made me shake my head and go, that's not my birthday. Why are you sending this to me? Right? So not personalized. But one of my favorite emails, which was the first email from a big fleet, I thought it was really cool. And let me see if I can quickly find how it words it, because I thought it was pretty impactful. All right. So this email, it's addressed to me, right? Says, hi, Hank. I've created a landing page just for you. So looking at these emails as they come in, some of them are addressed to a specific person, right? Hank, that's the name that I use when I'm filling out a form. And others don't. Goes on to talk about, I'm your recruiter, this is where I'm at. Thanks for your interest. To learn more, I've set up a web page for you. And I clicked on it. Right? It got my attention. When I click on the link, the website at the top said, hi, Hank. Right? So it made me feel like a personalized website was put together just for me. Had some really good information, some videos to watch. Just about anything I would need was on that website, right? That was created seemingly just for me. So email communication, extremely important tool that we as recruiters use to get in touch with drivers, right? And they're getting flooded with them. So it's important to do these things right to try to get their attention, right? We feel like we've got something that could be life-changing for them. And so check your cadence. Check your content, check the customization, and if these things are in check, you'll see a much better return on this marketing investment. So appreciate y'all jumping in, something a little different this time around, but do it yourself. Go through your own process, submit it, see what kind of emails you're getting back from your system. All right, thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. We really hope that it's been useful to you, and we hope you come back for more. If you're not already a subscriber, you can do so by clicking that little thing right there so you never miss out on our content. And if you'd like to watch another video, how about this one right here, just for you?